So this video is an open letter to the XDefiant developers. First and foremost, I absolutely love this game. I think this is one of the best games that have come out in the past couple of years, especially in the FPS scene. And despite the fact that I'm not like super great at the game and I'm not really a sweaty player, and I don't use like sweaty meta loadouts and shit, I still actively enjoy this game, right? It has its highs, has its lows, it's not really perfect, but no game really is, right? There are a few problems in this game, however, that I think are going to drive away a lot of normal, just casual players. I've already seen it firsthand. I have a friend that I tried to introduce to this game, and he literally dropped it after the second day. And I hear a lot of people online talk about the same sort of issues as well. So I might as well just make a video talking about it, and, you know, just sort of making an open letter. I'm also going to send this to Mark Rubin and some other developers as well if I ever find their Twitter accounts. So basically, what are the problems? The problems are entirely skill expression, okay? So it's not the skill gap. Multiple games have all kinds of skill gaps that range from really low to really high skill gaps. I find XDefiant's skill gap to be pretty alright. The issue, however, is entirely skill expression. So, in the old games, like, let's just say old COD games or, like, old Battlefields, right? Skill expression was predicated around having good accuracy, having good reaction time, having good map knowledge, having good just overall game knowledge, being able to control your recoil, etc. But nowadays in a lot of games, what dictates skill expression is usually just movement. It's entirely movement. You could have subpar aim, you could have subpar map knowledge, you could be absolutely horrible at the game, and it doesn't matter, because if you use a meta loadout, if you just spam jump every gunfight or spam crouch every gunfight, that seems to be the main determining factor of who wins a gunfight. And this is especially the case in XDefiant. This is obviously cheap, right? So hitting jump or hitting crouch is, it requires a minimal amount of effort. Almost none, especially if you have like a backbone attachment or you just change your control scheme. So like, you know, jump is L1 or crouch is the left thumb or the right thumbstick. Or if you have a macro, if you use like a fucking Cronus Zen or some shit and install like a macro script or something, it requires a minimal amount of effort to achieve this. All the while, it's making your enemy have to put the maximum amount of effort to kill you. That fundamentally is not balanced. I know that crouch spamming and jump spamming has already like kind of been nerfed, but I mean, if it takes 4 to 5 jumps or crouches to activate whatever nerf mechanic there is, which is literally just moving your ADS aim in like an infinity symbol, that's not good enough. I mean, that, even on paper, is not good enough. The rest of the game is fine. The rest of the game is great. I mean, yeah, there's some balance issues, but honestly, who fucking cares? It's a casual shooter. At least I like to think it is. But the jump spamming, the crouch spamming, the number one issue. If that is not addressed, like, if the game continues to be riddled with people that are just abusing cheap tactics, it's gonna hurt the game a lot. People don't want that. People just simply want skill expression to be entirely based around things that actually make sense. Accuracy, map knowledge, etc. It shouldn't be that every gunfight literally comes down to who is crouch spamming the best, who is jump spamming the best, and who just is running the most meta loadout. That is a fucking game killer. That drives casuals away fast. Okay, and I really don't want this game to be riddled with people that only do this, because then nobody will play it, right? Sweats make up a very small portion of any FPS community. We don't need people like this completely driving everyone else away. So, if any developers are watching this, please consider an actual just movement change to the game. Look at old CODs, right? People think of old COD games fondly. It's not just nostalgia. You can go back and go play them. They're still great, even though they have connection issues. The reason why those games are so great is because the movement made sense. It wasn't retarded. It wasn't ridiculous. It just made sense. You sprinted. You had a base sprint speed. There was no weird movement abuse. Yes, there was drop shotting, but that's pretty much minimal compared to what we deal with today. And every gunfight was entirely based on accuracy and reaction time. Okay, so it was never based on the same shit that's ruining FPS games today. It was never about that. And I'm not necessarily asking for the game to be turned into the most recent MW2 from 2022, where like movement apparently is like really slow or something. I'm just mainly just asking for common sense changes to be made, because if you just polled people, I'm sure if you just published a poll on the game servers that random people would just be kind of, served and shit, and they could answer honestly, you'd probably find that most people just do not like the things that the online community wants in the game. Yeah, so I thought I'd just make this video because, I just don't see a whole lot of people talking about, jump shotting or jump spamming and crouch spamming too much anymore, especially after the very basic and hardly really impactful nerf those two movement mechanics recently got. So yeah, that's about it.